code so slick, circus they gobble. Encrypted hustle, no chains, no marbles. Faster than the rest, cost stays humble. Breaking through the game, watch others crumble. Nobody do it like this, circus in the mist. Faster, cheaper, sharper, crypto alchemist. Others stuck in the lane, flipping the twist. Garble circus, baby, we the future, don't miss. Others move slow, we quantum and speed. Blocks they can't touch, fulfilling the need. Chains bound tight, but we unshackled. While they debug, our code is tackled. What they can't do, we already done. That game outdated, we just begun. Algorithms flex, they can't compete. Circuits garble, but the vision concrete. Nobody do it like this, circus in the mist. Faster, cheaper, sharper, crypto alchemist. Others stuck in the lane, we flipping the twist. Garble circus, baby, we the future, don't miss.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 41 of COTI Confidential on this Tuesday, November 18th. He's here. It's the Viking. It's Soren. What's going up, man?
Yeah, it's good, mate. I was just out having a quick smoke while you were running the intro music. I almost missed coming back in.
Yeah.
How you doing, mate?
So, good. You know what? Like, weekends are getting tough for me. So I don't know. I can't do weekends all the time. I just can't do it, man.
No, it's fine. Listen, on a general note, because a lot of people have asked, what's wrong with Sundays? And basically, not so much for me. I just have to show up. But for you, you have to make sure everything works. So you have a lot of prep for this. Then we have the show. And then you have, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 hours of cutting out all the little bits that we post afterwards. So it's easily a whole Sunday for you. It's and family is important. You got to spend some time with the family, and you got to enjoy your weekends. So I'm fine with the dynamic schedule, and we'll take some feedback from the community which weekdays suit them best. So
yeah, I mean, if it was at the end of the day on Sunday, it would work for me, but it's kind of smack dab in the middle of the day for me. And it's been, well, how, with camping season and everything, it was kind of disruptive, and I didn't have any, maybe Starlink next year, and then it'll be all good. But anyways, I know it feels like I don't have it up yet, so give me a second here, but I know it's been a while, guys, but let's go to the weekly update where we're going to go back in time a little bit and discuss this. All right, man, take it away.
Yeah, so this is the weekly update from Friday. So basically what a difference a week makes, a week and a bit. The Friday before, we were all singing and dancing and planning expensive holidays. Now we've retraced, 75% of that. Well, probably the whole pump, actually. We pretty much retraced the whole pump. And now we're back to applying for jobs at McDonald's. So it's all very stressful. And, if you're watching the charts and having all these different emotions and, one day it's up and then you got another 7 days down. And then, I get it's very stressful. And that's why I made the decision long ago. I mean, I do watch the charts almost on a daily basis, but I don't pay that much attention to them. I spend a lot more time looking at the fundamentals because they are by far the best barometer for how we're doing as a project. And how are we doing? I think we're doing all right, actually. I think we're doing very well. privacy remains firmly in the headlines. And all of a sudden, everyone has a privacy angle. It's amazing how crypto works. People that have been out of the headlines, projects that no one even knew existed, all of a sudden are all over the place. Privacy this, privacy that. Facts are still facts, though. Yeah. First generation, that's the privacy anonymity Dino tokens. They don't do much, and because of the anonymity aspect, they're being outlawed in most places. That doesn't prevent, obviously, the massive pump that we've seen on Zcash, but, good for them. Yeah, good for the holders. At least somebody makes money in this shitty market, is my thoughts on it. So very good, but it's totally irrelevant to what we're doing. Second generation, you got your CKs, your FHE, and your Ts in various combinations. They either don't do enough, or if they do what you need them to do, they do it very slowly and very expensively. And then you got the third generation, which is MPC protocols like Garble Circuits, EVM, on COTI, which is cheap, lightweight, compliant, auditable, and verifiable. Everything you need. Yeah, you can run it on your mobile, you can run it on your iPad, you can run it on your desktop. There's no limits, and you can't say that about pretty much any of the other stuff that's out there. It's everything privacy needs, and that's where COTI enjoys a huge advantage. We started developing exactly for this scenario years ago, and we're live, deploying use cases at a rapid clip. Yeah, so this is definitely our big advantage. And I didn't put this in the update, but but people keep talking about it, especially now that we're retracing this pump. People are starting to question these things again. Why are we where we are? What's our disadvantage? Because we do have some disadvantages. Yeah, and one of the biggest disadvantages is that we don't have the track record yet. Yeah, and if you're looking to build on blockchain, or if you're looking for a privacy technology to incorporate one way or the other into your tech stack, and if you do a little bit of due diligence on these things, you're going to say, oh, Garble Circuits, that looks exactly like I want, but does it do what they say it does? I'm not so sure. That's what people will say, because we don't have the track record yet, but we're getting there, and we're getting there fast. That's our biggest disadvantage. CKs, FHETs, they're a known animal. They've been around much longer than we have, and they have plenty of track record. So the disadvantage part, we're gonna catch up on that real quick, and we're approaching escape velocity, and it's going quite fast. It won't take long. Thursday last week, Ethereum put out a guest thread by Paul Brody on how they're leading the way on privacy. And COTI was very prominently featured there as basically a handful of privacy infrastructure providers. Now, Paul Brody is Ernst & Young. Paul Brody is the big honcho at the Enterprise Ethereum Foundation. And I think the implications of this will turn out to be quite profound. In fact, just the day after this was put out, I stumbled over a clip. If you could bring that up, Tracer, if you got it ready. I can't hear you.
Can you see it?
Yeah, no, I can't see it. But I'm going to assume it was the same as last time. Everyone else can see it, but not me. So basically, it's a random Ethereum maxi account. Got about 15,000 followers. And he's basically quoting directly from this new toolbox manual from the Enterprise Ethereum Foundation, a paper that Paul Brody sent out, where we're listed as one of the 4 or 5 infrastructure providers. And that's why I think the implications of this will be profound. First of all, Paul Brody isn't just anyone. He's got a massive reputation, both in blockchain and in real world, as opposed to blockchain. And he heads up the Enterprise Ethereum Foundation. And it's important to understand that you know, when companies want to build on Ethereum, they don't go and ask for an audience with Vitalik. Vitalik's got nothing to do with any of that. Vitalik thinks the heavy thoughts, the deep thoughts, and sets out guidelines, and you know, he does all his clever stuff. Nobody, probably very few people, do it better than him. Paul Brody is a different animal because he heads up the place that when you want to build on Ethereum, that's where you get sent. So you go there and you say, I want to build on Ethereum. What have you guys got to offer me? And, you know, so basically they have this toolbox and they say, okay, you want to do this, you pick out from these bits and pieces. You want to do privacy, you got 5 infrastructure providers here that we recommend. And there is going to be tens of thousands of new entrants to the Ethereum ecosystem over the coming years. And they're all going to get this toolbox handed to them. Yeah, and we're mentioned in it. So, you know, everyone keeps talking, Vitalik doesn't love us, this and that. Well, Paul Brody does. He knows us very well. He knows Joshua very well, and I'm assuming he probably knows Shahab very well too. And he likes what he's seeing. That's why we're there. Yeah, he understands what it is, and he understands the value of it. Yeah, so you know, this is very, this is much better than Vitalik talking about garbage circuits and COTI and all that. You know, if he does that, we'll get maybe a 5% pump, and then the next day we'll bloody retrace it again. Yeah, I'd much rather be part of the solution when real world enterprises come to Ethereum, because they will in their thousands. So that's that part of it. The builders at Yarrow have been super busy as well. And actually, one of my favorites was a post put out by Joshua featuring a young man called Jordan. You should go look him up. His handle is @NASCAR driver. And he was using COTI's privacy layer as a backend to easily decrypt all his data. Now, normally he would have used Google Cloud for this, or he has been using Google Cloud. And his comments basically were, you know, Google Cloud's more expensive by a long shot than COTI, and doesn't have the privacy part. In fact, Google gets hacked regularly. Again, maybe not regular, probably putting a little bit too much emphasis on. But you know, you have these hacks. Yeah. So he's now using COTI for what he used to use Google Cloud for. And the big light bulb here, the big light bulb moment was that it's just as fast as Google Cloud. The latency is actually maybe, you know, slightly better or slightly worse, but by 0.01 or 2 milliseconds. It's nothing. So the latency, for all intents and purposes, is exactly as what you would have with Google Cloud. And that is absolutely massive. Yeah, I think, you know, it's gone a little bit under the radar, but that is actually a huge thing. So yeah, it's quite amazing. And you know, I keep saying this, and I'll keep doing it until I'm blue in the face. There is no one else who can do this. There's no one else who can do what we can. Track record, word of mouth, escape velocity, only a question of time. That's all it is. Now, talking about these proofs of concept and track record, COTI they've actually put out a couple of demos in the last week, showing how you can set up wallet privacy with a simple on and off toggle, exactly the way it's been built into Privex, and we're all soon going to see that in the wild. There was also one today which was quite simple, but basically verifying by age. But you know, underlying these things is literally hundreds of use cases. Yeah, it just shows in principle what you can do with the system. UI, user interfaces, that's where blockchain normally fails miserably. And by making that a critical component for attracting more users to COTI network, if we do this right, the business development for COTI Ship, for Vlad, for Prince, you, I, Shahaf, Joshua, everyone gets a hell of a lot easier. And I think the user interface on Privex is, that's an example of it being perfectly done. Back to we talked about it quite a lot in the past. Verticals. So different segments of the market, verticals. COTI Network announced a new partnership last Friday actually, with Agora, bringing confidential, low-fee, real-time auctions into our ecosystem. Yeah, and again, they're a small player, but they're doing something that no one else is doing. Yeah, simply by incorporating garbage circuits into what they're proposing to do. There are plenty of online auction places, but they can't handle privacy in the way that Agora will be able to handle it. So it's great because we're seeing yet another vertical, another use case being filled. And what is even more interesting is that this project actually has got one of our longtime community members, Rahul, on the team. So I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on them, and I'm going to cheer extra loud because I love it when community members are building. So yeah, that's it for the update. And as always, well, not as always, but since of a few weeks ago, you can now go mint that little headlines I attached to the weekly update. You can go mint it on the Craft app. I think I finally did one without messing it up. So this is like your tip jar for the writer. They're cheap. So that's that.
Excellent as always, man. Did you read the thread that Privax just threw up?
Amazing.
On X.
Yeah.
So, oh, come on. I don't know why StreamYard is being so glitchy on me right now, but we talk about this. So, I mean, I'm so excited for Agents on Privex. I think everybody knows that, probably sick about hearing it. But if you haven't read this thread, go read it. It's what we talk about all the time, where you can be the greatest trader ever, but eventually you have to sleep. Eventually you're going to get sleep deprivation. Eventually you're going to get emotional. You're going to get greedy. You're going to start rage trading or, revenge trading. And Privex Agents all about not having that happen. So it's I retweeted it. Soren may have retweeted it, but go read this thread. It's really, really cool, and I couldn't be more excited for Privex Trading Agents. I wish I could show you more, but they're not live yet. But it sure feels like they're getting ready. Like, who knows? But it sure feels like they're getting ready to launch them. I don't know if that's how you feel, Soren, but it feels like it's getting close.
I think it's starting to have the feel of being just days away now. I do want to attach a few comments to this because there was a little bit of a mumbling in the Telegram groups about why the Privex volumes were so up and down. Yeah. And the platform revenue as well. So I'm not on the team. I don't have any special info about what's going on, but here's my guess. They are testing these trading agents. That's why you see the volumes fluctuate. Yeah, and they're testing them not paying platform fees. They're testing them paying the COTI fees. They're two very, very different things. Now, I don't know Privex's business plan for these trading agents. Maybe they will not charge a lot of. Maybe they will charge them in COTI fees plus a tiny markup. Maybe they will charge them normal platform fees, which is about a COTI, a transaction, a trade. One trade is a little less than a COTI. But all these AI agent trades that they've been running, and which has pumped their volume very, very quickly up to like $70 million per day, they were done with literally no fees whatsoever. And that fee, that when you do the numbers, it looks like the average fee that you pay on COTI mainnet. So just to not clear up, but just to give my opinion on why it looks a little bit funny. Just chill. They're an exchange. They don't just release things and hope everything goes well. They are under a very, very strict set of rules for how they behave and how their platform works. So they got to check these things.
Let's do some FUD busting really quick here, Soren, because this one like gets under my skin. You see people in Telegram. What is with Telegram, man? Is it just like the most toxic place on earth sometimes?
Can be, yeah.
You see on Telegram that people think that we're pushing Privex because we've been led to push Privex. Nobody led me to push Crafter, okay? Nobody's led me to push Privex. I see things that I'm bullish on, and I talk about it. I've said this before. I'm community member first, and so is Soren. And we've been allowed that latitude to talk about what we believe in. And when we find something that we believe in, we talk about it. I might not agree with Soren on something, and he might want to talk about something. They don't tell us what to talk about on COTI Confidential. COTI Confidential is our show, our house. We talk about what we want to talk about. There is no overreach. So you can put that to bed. The other thing people talk about is us being paid ambassadors and pushing narratives. To think that Soren and I would bypass our integrity for the honorariums that we get to mostly focus on business development. It's crazy, man. You guys are out of control. Find something else to talk about. What happens on COTI Confidential is purely our prerogative. And I'm just going to let you kind of, piggyback on that a little bit, Soren.
Yeah, I mean, with regards to Privex, yeah, I'm simply of the opinion that for now, for the time being, Privex is our killer app. When they switch on those agents, you're going to see daily volumes pump to $200, $300, $400 million very, very quick. Mark my words, yeah. It's very quickly going to pump, yeah. And that's going to get us attention, yeah. And in fact, I think it's going to be quite beneficial for our token price. So that's one thing. The second thing I want to say on Privex, and I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but when we had the October 10th crash, I had a position on Privex. I got absolutely wiped out. I had a very conservative stop loss, and I got completely wiped out. So I had no favors from Privex in that regard. I haven't even had a I'm sorry note from Fonso, who's their community manager, who I communicate a little bit with sometimes. Now, so that's the Privex part. We're not being pushed to promote Privex, but they are the shining example of a killer app, because they do something that a perp DEX doesn't normally do, and they are very unique. Their user interface is going to be absolutely amazing, and they're going to get us all the attention that we need. I'm hoping, of course, that we'll have more killer apps in the future, but for now, Privex is it. Now, with regards to being a paid ambassador, I would put paid in inverted commas. We do get a little bit of money. We don't get paid in COTI. We get paid in USDC. A lot of people ask about that. Yeah. But I think both for Tracer and me, and I think we've both been very vocal about it with COTI, that this is a labor of love for us. We're super happy that you want to pay us for it, but it's a labor of love. It's not a whole lot of money, but of course it's better to get paid than not to get paid. Yeah. The only rule we have as ambassadors is don't say anything that you don't want on the front page of the New York Post or the New York Times or whatever it was in the morning. Yeah. So don't go around saying stupid things. Other than that, you can do as you like. Yeah, you can promote as you like. And COTI Confidential is not just you and I sitting here. It's the Telegram group. And this is an initiative to educate community members on what the COTI ecosystem is doing. And we're educating people one by one by one. Yeah, and there are people that we're never going to educate, and that's fine. There are people who just want to trade and focus on token price. But for those who actually take an interest in the ecosystem and don't have all the time in the world to do what we do, we educate them on what's going on, and then people can make up their own minds. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it.
The guardrails for us as ambassadors were very specific, and it was something that I really keyed into when we were first talking about it. And it's basically those guardrails are there limited to when we are carrying out ambassador duties. COTI Confidential is not carrying out an ambassador duty. This is why we have the latitude to speak how we want, right? And yes, of course, there is some correlation with Shahaf being super bullish on Privex, leading to us being super bullish on Privex, but he knew what was coming before all of us, and that's why he's so excited about it. One of the biggest things I'm excited for with Privex is attached to agents, but it's not just agents. And this is something that you haven't heard Shahaf talking about for a while because the big push is on privacy. But let's not forget what agentic volume means, right? And it kind of leads into what Soren was saying about platform revenue and volume. Agentic volume can bring us to numbers that humans can't understand. Agents can go in and out of trades faster than we can think. Agentic volume, like obviously with the fee structure that was chosen, I mean, not obvious, but this is opinion, but obviously with the fee structure and the way things are, put together for the COTI network, agentic volume was a big part of why they decided to be the cheapest thing out there, right?
Yes.
As well as, wanting to get into the CBDC realm and stuff like that. So let's not forget about agentic volume because it's a keyword that we haven't heard Shahaf talking about for a while because the big push is on privacy because that's the narrative. But that's another big thing coming for us.
Yeah, you look at these, just a comment on this agentic volume. Again, my best guess, just by using common sense, yeah, they have been testing 1, maybe 2 trading agents, running them on very, very tight parameters because they're not trading with monopoly money; they're trading with actual money. Otherwise, you can't test them on bloody monopoly money here. So they're running on very, very tight parameters, and this 1, maybe 2 agents generated 20,000 trades in one day. Now, imagine switching on 50 of them. And if you think that's hopium, you go and look at the Privex page. There's 200 of them already lined up waiting. Now, let's say half of them are just people playing around and set up a trading agent, and they're never going to touch it. And so that's 100 left. Out of that 100, let's say half of them, yeah, that was fun, but that's not really, it doesn't really do what I want. You're still down to 50 that run at somewhere between 10 to 20,000 trades per day. That's a million trades per day. Yeah. So you basically take the trading volume, which was what, 65 million? I'm going to do the math real quick. Multiplied by 50. That's $3.25 billion. Now you go to DeFi Llama and ask and tell me where does 3.25 billion trading volume per day, where does that put COTI on that list? Top 3. Yeah, I'll save you the trouble. I'll give you the answer. Top 3. And how much attention do you think we're going to get when we all of a sudden pop up in top 3 over perp dexes? Yeah. Guys like Win, guys like the White Whale, who's just left Hyperliquid, who's had a falling out with them, who's looking for a new home. People like that, of course, they're going to have a look. Are they going to sign up? We don't know, because they'll probably like the privacy part and not tell anyone about it. But $3.3 billion, probably in the next, I don't know, 60 to 90 days, we're probably going to hit that. Yeah, that's why we're bullish on Privex, not because we've been told to. Come on, guys.
I'm bullish on Privex because, like I've been saying for a while now, it's going to take one product, one nation, one legacy, one legacy product, piece of the puzzle, to give us that recognition that, okay, this is the real deal. And this is what we're waiting for. We're waiting for that one spark. And Privex could be that spark. So that's why I'm bullish on it.
And here's something that we don't agree on. Yeah, you keep calling it Privex, I keep calling it Privex.
That's right.
So we can FUD bust that also. We don't agree on everything.
That's right. Well, I thought I would keep it. We want to keep it linear because there's two ways to pronounce. Well, there's more than two ways to pronounce COTI. So let's just keep it that way.
I'm not going to start saying COTI just to annoy you.
I remember I was saying it a certain way in my head, and then Shahaf came and made a video and he pronounced it one way. And I thought I had trained myself to pronounce it the way he did, but maybe I lost that. I guess for me, it's privacy. So it's Privex. Privacy. No, wait a minute. See, now I'm all messed up. We got to move on from this.
Yeah. You're Privex, I'm Privex. But yes, it is the killer app. It will be the killer app. And you don't have to take our word for it. You just watch what happens over the next 60 days. And if that doesn't make you bullish on Privex and what it's going to do for our ecosystem, then you need to, honestly, and this is going to sound tough, but you need to start paying attention. Really. Yeah. This is how most ecosystems get their break. They have a killer app that all of a sudden everyone starts talking about. Yeah. And this is going to be it for us.
I think it's unfortunate that a lot of our community has become, like we have a lot of people who've been in the community for a very, very long time now. And I think that's great, but it's also a weakness because a lot of those people's views are clouded by the last 5 years of adoption and price action and how they've gone through that kind of bear market and those kinds of things. And they think that, well, it's just never going to get better. And if it does get better, it's just going to get a little bit better. And I think that's clouding a lot of our community from seeing the true potential of what's happening here. Now, when you look, and it comes back to fee structure to me a lot, because it took me 2 years to understand, like, how will this ever make sense? And what I keep tripping on is the fact that most people they can't dream big enough. They don't have a big enough vision for this project and what it really means. You need to be so hyper bullish to understand the tokenomics and to have it make sense. I mean, people just can't, it's because our minds, and it's not me because I'm there now, but it's their minds just can't grasp this much, we'll call it success, right? This much adoption. And it is a very, very bold play. And we're going to look back at it. Either it's the most genius, like 300 IQ thing ever, or it wasn't. But they set out to be the fastest, lightest, cheapest, and most revolutionary privacy infrastructure ever. And they wanted to make sure that they would stay the cheapest no matter what happened. They are definitely the fastest, and they are the earliest. So for you people who are stuck looking at price, stuck on the past 5 years of what it's been like, if that's kind of leading your ambition now, I think you need to take a step back and redo your research. look at it with an open mind and realize where we are and that we are ahead of everybody else, in not only in terms of metrics, but in time frame. It'll take one spark, and who knows where that spark's going to come from. And it could be Privex, and it could be something else. But you guys got to stop I like to look at where we came from, but I think too many people are looking back and saying, oh, it's never going to happen. It maybe get this much better. You need to look at this with a fresh perspective and realize the plan. That's what I think.
No, well, I agree with you. I think when we often hear people saying, "Oh, I've been in COTI 5 years and it's been a hell of a, it's been brutal, blah blah blah." Well, you've been in COTI for 2 years, yeah. COTI as a project reset 2 years ago, yeah. So whatever happened before, whether it was nice or not nice, or it's gone, past. Forget about it, yeah. Don't let it cloud your judgment. So that's one thing. So you've been in COTI for 2 years. That's how you should think about it. The second thing is tokenomics punishing us? Probably. I could sign up for that argument. I wouldn't argue too much against it. We will never know. Yeah, but without the tokenomics, there's no COTI earn. Without the tokenomics, no treasury. Without the tokenomics, no nodes ecosystem. Without the tokenomics, no Yarrow Labs. And I mentioned Yarrow Labs last because that is actually the most important component of this. These guys, their particular flywheel is really accelerating now. You're seeing how they're expanding into more countries. You see how users are starting to have light bulb moments now. People are building projects. These are not projects that's gonna do anything amazing for our ecosystem, but it's going to do something amazing for these people, and they're going to tell other people about it. And somewhere in all of that is going to be a unicorn. Guaranteed. Yeah. Promise. You can take it to the bank. There's going to be a unicorn in there somewhere. Yeah. So tokenomics is let's just agree that it's punishing us. But without tokenomics, we wouldn't be where we are. Yeah. That's part of building the ecosystem. It's short-term pain for long-term gain. For me, it's as simple as that's how I found my peace with the tokenomics. Yeah, I took the time to understand what are these extra tokens actually paying for, and that's what that.
Yarrow,
and the grants program. Sorry, and the grants program. There wouldn't be a grants program without it. Sorry.
Yarrow is that perfect example of. It'll always look like a failure until it's not, right? Nobody's going to like it until it produces something. And maybe it's uncomfortable for you to look at or to understand what's going on there. I get it. Like it looks like it's, maybe it looks like it's a waste of ecosystem dollars to you. But until something happens there, and then it looks like the most genius plan ever. And so I don't like going after people and attacking them too much for their comments on COTI Confidential, but this one is just too easy. Now, it's only a small mind that can't understand this. So let me lay it out as best I can. The MetaMask snap, first of all, MetaMask snaps are desktop only. We've all known this for a long time. Maybe some of you didn't, but we did know that. Originally, we were going to drop the snap as a third party, meaning that it was just going to be something that wasn't even listed by MetaMask, that we would have to proliferate. Being able to get the MetaMask snap on the MetaMask store is telling to how significant it is. Now, is it more about the MetaMask snap being something that we wanted everybody using, or is it more about a proof of concept that anybody can go and download and play with? In my opinion, this is a proof of concept that is tangible for the end user. And not every end user is just somebody who has a MetaMask. End users can be people from other chains seeing this thing work and going, hey, maybe this privacy on demand thing is good for us. Look at this. I'm using it right now. We don't have to spend 2 years developing it. It exists. So for the people who are fading the MetaMask snap, you're probably looking through the wrong end of the telescope. And that's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people who thought that, I have the snap, then I can send any token I like. Yeah, and I was initially one of those actually, who thought, okay, with that snap, I can send any token I like to anyone on any network, and if I want it to be private, it can be private. So it works out slightly different than that. So I kind of see why it was whipped up. I kind of see what it was whipped up to be much more of a price pumper than what it actually was, because it had no impact on price at all. Yeah, the way you got, and you mentioned it as well, the way you got to look at this is it's infrastructure for wallets. Yeah, now it's MetaMask. Then comes my Ether wallet. Then comes Encrypt. Then other wallets start to look at this. Yeah, payroll providers start to look at this. Yeah, you are not, by the way, you are not going to see how much this MetaMask snap is going to be used. You are not going to see that in real time. These are going to be private tokens. You ain't going to be able to go and find them on the mainnet Explorer because they're private. You won't see them. Yeah. So, this MetaMask snap, just let it cook in the background. It would be my advice. Yeah. And don't worry about whether you think it's a short-term failure or a short-term success. It's as all the other things we're building. It's a proof of concept. It's the basic infrastructure that basically tells wallet providers, here's how you do it. Yeah, and we will add toggles and we will do all sorts of good things and add some features to it. But it's there to show people that we have the basic infrastructure. Not in a year from now, not in phase 4 of bloody midnight, or that comes in end of 26, start of 27, by the way. Sorry, but it is there live now, and nobody else has that. Yeah. And it goes back to what Vitalik said. I want to see, the first place I want to see privacy is at a wallet level. And I want it to be an opt-in, opt-out, not something that gets crammed down people's throats. That's the example of what Vitalik does. He says, I want to see that. And then Paul Brody goes out and finds the people who can somehow deliver that. And that's probably one of the reasons why he has picked COTI for his toolbox.
It's funny, you see people, and I mean, I get this, but you see people saying, well, why is there a toggle? Why would somebody not want privacy? Why wouldn't it just be by default? We talk about privacy by default, but having that toggle actually makes them realize that it's there. You know what I mean? If it just got launched and it went out, let's say it went MetaMask native, okay? They would promote it, they would talk about it, and then it would be what's coming next. And all the new users coming to MetaMask wouldn't really know what was happening. Having that toggle and that selectability, it's another way of reminding you that it's there. So I get it. Noak says 100 live viewers, new record. I think for COTI Confidential specifically, I think there was one show that we had over 500. But like the number we're looking for these days as kind of like a record, it's like 300 or over 300. So this is not a record, but yeah, good numbers for an unscheduled stream. I totally agree.
And we're super happy with every one of the 100. So yeah, but it
maybe not one.
Most of them, maybe 98.
Most of them, 100%, 199.9%.
Yeah. So, but this it goes back to what we talked about earlier. What's COTI Confidential about? It's about educating you on what's going on in the ecosystem and what we think it means for the ecosystem. Yeah, it's not about or it's not about arguing about what's happened in the last 5 years. Was this a success? Was that a success? And it's not about seeing everything with rosy glasses.
Yeah.
we've talked about the treasury being a complete shit show on more than one occasion. We talk about the bridge being the bloody bridge to nowhere, as the saying so famously goes. So there's a lot of things we can do better. There always is, and there always will be, by the way. There's lots of things we can do better. Yeah. But when you look at all the things we're doing right, we are so far ahead. We're so far ahead of everyone else, it's not even funny. Yeah. Except on track record. Yeah. That's the escape velocity. And things like Privex, things like the Snap, things like the Axelar integration. Yeah. They're going to start to fix the track record part very, very easily. And very quickly, by the way. Ain't gonna take long.
It's funny. A little while ago, we started up talking about Crafter back in the day, and you know, finally having toys to play with, right? Other than staking and forgetting it, right? Well, I've finally gotten myself into a routine every day now with a couple tools, and so I posted this a little while ago on X. But it's so fun now that every day, because I used to do this kind of stuff with other chains. And once in a while, I would look at my Viper wallet, for those who remember Viper wallet, once in a while. But there wasn't too much to do there. Now, I have a row of tabs, and they're all COTI V2 native tabs. Carbon, COTI Earn, Privex, and I got to check my offers on Crafter Marketplace, right? So those 4 tabs, and Treasury, you know, because the APY is really good right now. So I am like rolling the rewards back in quite frequently now. If you're one-to-one with COTI, if you know, you know. But that's my routine now. I get up and I check my strategies on Carbon. And then I go look at COTI Earn and it's like, oh, I got this many TPs today. Cool. And then if I had positions on Privex, I would jump into Privex and look at those and then check the agents tab and then get frustrated that they're not live yet. I can't wait for agents, right? We actually have, like, the flywheel is turning, and I just don't think people realize it yet, but there are literally daily tasks that I have interacting with our ecosystem now, which that didn't exist before for me. And I'm when I kind of finally force myself, and even though I'm in recurring range strategies with Carbon, I still want to look at it, right? I haven't made for many days now. I haven't intervened at all, but I still want to go look at it and see how many trades and see what the spread is, right? But if those things happen when I'm not looking, it's taken care of, right? Recurring range orders is like the most basic version of a trading agent. You know what I mean? And so Privex, with the agents that I've kind of trained a little bit, and not been able to train them. I can't wait to see how they work. I have some aggressive ones and I have some that aren't aggressive. And I just can't wait to play with that. But that's my daily routine with the COTI ecosystem. I literally sign transactions almost every day now, which is something that didn't exist. It wasn't even a thought 3 years ago. Super cool, man.
And how many months ago did we launch mainnet? 7?
Well, it was like early March, right?
Yeah. So 7-8 months. We're gonna have to do. We're gonna do a yearly roundup very soon, and I have no idea how we're gonna. I don't know. It's gonna be a 6-hour show because we're gonna have to cram all these things in. We have really traveled a long distance in 6-7 months. In the most horrible market conditions and with all sorts of shenanigans going on, we have come a long way. And I like the way you explain this because it tells everyone how much choice there is now in our ecosystem, and there's lots more coming. There's so much more coming. It's not even funny. It's there's COTI Earn, yeah.
So when we first talked about COTI Earn, I kind of glazed over all of this. And so, like I said, I've had a daily routine and I'm looking at these kinds of things. Well, I'm starting to realize how many TPs you can get for holding some of these things. And like for a while this season, I was like, man, I'm like stacking the TPs. Why? Well, when I look right here, USDC on Carbon, that's 300 TPs a day for $100, right? You look at the spread on, like, yes, treasury rewards are a little bit smaller here. Well, they're quite a bit smaller, but like, look at some of these deposit and hold. Like, it's just incredible. But, I cherry picked this one because it's, Privex is the same. But yeah, holding stables. And like, guys, you don't even have to trade them. Like, you can just sit them there. And it's kind of like a soft yield from COTI. So I thought that was interesting. I finally kind of realized like how many TPs because I was trying to figure out how some people were printing so many TPs, right? In the first season. This is wild here. So go look at those. I glazed over them the first time pretty quickly. But go look at that because it's I'm stacking TPs now.
Know?
Like,
Can I tell you something that you didn't know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know also. But and this is to the people who ask why are we printing, why are we minting new tokens for this silly bollocks that's COTI. Yeah. You're her favorite tool, I heard.
It's that's a compliment compared to what she says in the DMs, guys. Never go there. It's a scary place.
You're her favorite DeFi tool.
I think everybody should DM here to DeFi on Telegram right now. Just go light up her DMs. But yeah.
No,
she's
so
very
the thing you didn't know, and the thing that this is one for the people who say, why are we minting tokens for this COTI? Yeah. So COTI, just looking isolated at USDC, we now have $1.5 million deposited liquidity into the ecosystem. That's $1.5 million TVM. So that's one of the many things that these extra tokens have bought us. Yeah. It also buys us the opportunity to promote the various components on our the various projects in our ecosystem. Yeah. And that's what COTI does. And you get free COTI in return for doing next to nothing. Like you said, Tracer, you just deposit your USDC and leave them there and cash in your daily TPs, and it's free money. I mean, I cashed out, I don't know, $400 at the end of season 1. And that's quite a lot of COTI considering the low token price. $400 that I wouldn't otherwise have had. So I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah. COTI Confidential isn't about financial advice. We talk about it is educational, but like, if you are bearish on markets and price, but you want to accumulate COTI with no risk, man, that's one way to do it right there. Just park your stables in Carbon or Privex, and you're accumulating for nothing. Like, that's your yield, right? So cool. And it's not small, guys. Throw a couple $100, like, not financial advice, but throw a couple dollars and watch your TPs. Like, it's crazy. If you look at it, it's 60 per 100 in the treasury, but 300 per 100 in DeFi in stables.
$10,000 will give you 2.5 million TPs per day,
and no risk of price depreciation, like,
at all.
You want to accumulate for free? You're bearish on price. You think it's going down. I don't know. There's a strategy for you.
Yeah.
That you didn't ask for, but you're getting anyways. And no, nobody told us to do this. We see things on COTI Confidential because we're obsessed with the ecosystem. And every once in a while, there's a moment where we're like, hey, here's a chance. Kind of like I told everybody during the COTI campaign, hey, go into the ERC. Nobody's going there. Those people made fat bank. You just need a couple of guys that are obsessed with the chain to give you some pointers, and then hopefully they'll follow.
And a little bit of common sense, and start looking at what's actually going on. Yeah, And, that's why we're here. So, you want the common sense, you come and listen to Tracer, and then every once in a while, I'll put in a gem or two of common sense as well.
It's like sometimes I swear Minnesota does this on purpose because he's trying to
We
turn
just
my
said
face red. It is. This is rage bait. Rage bait. Get out of here.
He's doing it on purpose. He's sitting there with a big fat smile on his face now.
Wow.
It's good to see you. Good to see you listening in, Eli. And I'm very happy you bought more COTI. Good choice.
Yeah. What do you guys think is going to happen? Up or down? Are we building a floor at 3.5 or low 3s, or what's going on? I'd like to see in the comments where you guys think the bottom is. Where is the bottom? Are we there yet? What do you think is going to happen with Bitcoin now, Soren?
Honestly, it is such a tricky one. I've been very open from the beginning. I listened to one or two people on equities, and one of them is Tom Lee, who is now obviously a huge Ethereum maxi. And Tom Lee says we're going to be back to all-time highs before year-end, and he insists on it. Yeah, none of this has made him change his mind. What he's basically saying is happening now is that there are a couple of market makers with huge holes in their balance sheet due to the October 10th crash, and the whales are circling, knocking down prices of everything to force liquidate them. That's what he's saying is going on. Yeah. So, what normally happens with these events is you don't see bodies floating in the water next morning. Yeah, because that was a nuclear explosion on October 10th. But you don't see bodies floating around in the water next morning. It takes sometimes a month, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. Then you'll see a couple of bodies rising to the surface. That's what he thinks. And he says as soon as that's over and done with, we're back on an upward path. So answer to your question, we'll probably go a little bit lower. Not all that doomsday stuff. Although I'm a little bit worried about the VIX is very high at the moment, and this Japanese carry trade that people have been talking about for years seems to be unwinding, and Japan can sometimes be a catalyst for bigger things around the world. But if anything, it'll just be the catalyst for the US Fed to start printing even more money. Yeah, because Trump's not going to want to have these things on his watch. He'll leave all that to the Democrats or whoever comes after him. So I think we're going to be all right. I think we're close to the bottom, and then we're going to see some very hefty bounces upwards towards the Santa rally. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, I knew if I asked you about Bitcoin that you'd start talking about your buddy there, Tom Lee. And the reason why I asked you is because they just doubled down and bought 169 million in ETH in the past week. They increased their holdings by 54,000 ETH since the 10th of November.
Yeah, they now own,
and they still have 600 million in cash waiting to buy dips.
Yeah,
you love Tom Lee, man. So
bullish. I do because he's more right than he's wrong, and he explains things in a normal, concise manner. And he's been doing this since before you were born, and he's been doing this since I was in diapers. Yeah, the man is not he's not stupid. Yeah, he knows what the hell is going on, and he's much more right than he's wrong. And Bitminer, the company that he's the chairman for, they are now own, I think it was 2.9% of the ETH supply, and that's a little bit more than half of what they want to own. They want to own 5%, and they're going to stake it all, and they're going to pay out. They're going to make about $500 million per year at current prices. It'll be a lot more than that once the price starts to pump. But they're then going to pay that out mostly in dividends to their owners, to their shareholders. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I knew when I saw that he was doubling down that you'd be excited about that.
Yeah, no,
So,
I mean, I do follow him quite closely because he talks in a way that makes sense to me, and it should make sense to a lot of other people because he explains things very calmly, very clearly, and not he does. Yeah, now he's talking his backs a little bit. I do agree with that, but when he hasn't changed his stance. One of the clips you didn't bring up now is one that's been circulating quite widely back in 2019 when the price of Bitcoin was at around $5,000 at the time, I think. Back then, he said, and people thought he was they thought he belonged straight in the padded room. But back in 2019,
I know what you're talking about now.
He said, put 1 or 2% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. Yeah. And people, all the legacy experts, that's absurd. You're crazy. Guess who's laughing now? Yeah, because he's as bullish on Bitcoin as he is on Ethereum. But of course, he's talking his Ethereum backs a little bit more. But he's bullish on both of them. And he knows that,
up.
Yeah, up. No, and yeah, because Eli knows this game. He's been in it for a long time, and he knows the U.S. system. They're gonna grease the wheels. The wheels are gonna get serious lump of grease before the midterm elections. So you all wait and see what happens. Just take it easy.
I think this is confirmation that comment was rage bait. But
yeah,
he was
definitely
how I'm going to take
winding you up. He was definitely winding you up. We got any other interesting questions we can deal with?
Well, yeah, I want to. You've been talking about this football game for a while. So has somebody else.
So tonight, it's in the 45 minutes. It's the Bacon Slicers versus the Wet Sox. No, not the Wet Sox. The Sweaty Sox.
There we go.
The Bacon Slicers are the Danes, and the Sweaty Sox are the Scottish. And the winner of tonight's game, actually, if it's a draw, we still win. We can draw, or we can win the game, and we'll go straight to the World Cup in 2028, I think it is. 2028. If we lose, obviously the Scots will go straight to the World Cup, but the loser will still have a playoff round in March next year. Yeah, and this should never have happened, because we lost to the potato farmers of Belarus last week. And we played it was a 2-2 draw, but literally no one drops points against the potato farmers from Belarus. It is unheard of. So there's a bit of football tonight.
Yeah. Well, and on that note, I think it's perfect to leave it here. Look, guys, you know what? We get it. It's tough out there, and the weeks and months roll by, and it's still tough out there. But I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of tough everywhere, except for very few places. So the people who are going, but everything else is pumping, it's confirmation bias. That's not what's really happening. But Eli says up. Tom Lee says up. So I guess that means Soren says up. So I guess up is next.
Up is next. Won't be long.
It's all about fundamentals. And for me, I couldn't be more bullish on fundamentals. Thank you for taking your time to hang out with us on this Tuesday, November 18th. And who knows when you'll see us again. We are live from coast to coast and around the world every week with COTI Confidential. And we'll see you next time.
Stay COTI.
Quarter four and knocking loud. Echoes ripple through the crowd. Nodes are humming, hearts are drumming. Future's here, no time for dumbing. 1-to-1, the ratio's climbing. Outpace the FUD, perfect timing. COTI earn is on the rise. Watch the the system crystallized. CBDCs is just a matter of time. Q4 is here. Let's go. Get ready. The moment is near. Q4 is here. Q4 is here. Q4 is here. Q4 is here. No more doubt. No more fear. Q4 is here. Q4 is here. Q4 is here. The ecosystem's blazing trails. Innovation tips the scales. It's a slow burn, but the harmony's tight. Blending past and future light. Nodes like veins, they keep us flowing. A network alive, always growing. History bends when we take charge. A legacy written extra large.